So it's time for another adventure across Europe, and in this season we're going to be visiting the Baltic states and Scandinavia. But to get there, well, we're starting once again from the UK. And there are loads of announcements at this station I'm at the moment. It's Grantham Station on the East Coast Main Line, where I'm getting the connection down to London. Now, the great thing about Grantham, it's well connected. It's only an hour to London, and there are 3 or 4 different train operators that use this station. Now, that's an advantage because there's lots of choice, but you've also got to be careful when it comes to those reservations. Remember, in the last season we talked about the Eurail Pass. That's what I'm using again today. It gives me more or less unlimited travel in 33 different countries. But on this particular line, I do need a reservation. Now, the good news is, it's free. I just went to the ticket office and said, can I get on the next train to London? And they said yes, and gave me this lovely first-class reservation. So the train should be here in just a few minutes' time. There are many more trains passing through Grantham today, and I should be in London in about an hour. So join me on this trip across Northern Europe with Travelcaster, the travel pod that takes you there. So we've arrived at London King's Cross Station. Now, for a while back in the day, this was a bit of a dingy place compared to its grander cousin next door, St Pancras. But a refurbishment about a decade ago has opened up this station to be a magnificent bit of architecture. It sort of crescents around. There's this enormous roof that goes over it with dining upstairs and shopping below. It really does feel like a destination station. However, if you want to leave the UK and travel abroad, you'll need to go next door to St Pancras. All you have to do is turn right when you come out of the doors at King's Cross, and St Pancras is right in front of you. It's a 2-minute walk. So let's take a moment to talk about reservations. If you've got a Eurail pass, they are compulsory, especially on many of the international trains that you may be travelling on if it crosses a border. And that is the case with Eurostar, which runs from here in London to Paris, Brussels and Amsterdam. Now, my train today is at 3 p.m. It's on a Sunday afternoon. That's the train I've been booked on, and the reservation cost me about €32, which I thought was reasonable because it's in standard Premier. That's a bit like first class, but not quite as posh. You do get a meal with it, so for €30, it's a pretty good deal. Now, I've arrived at St Pancras quite early, and I asked if there was any room on the earlier departure to Brussels at 1 p.m. Yes, there was, said the attendant, but there would be a fee to change my reservation of €50. Now, added together with the €30 I've already paid, that's pretty much what you'd pay for an ordinary ticket on Eurostar. So I've declined that offer, and I'm going to wait. Well, it was worth the wait. The journey from London was uneventful, it was on time, and first class in Eurostar was a delight. We had a lovely lunch served to us in our seats, and then we got to Brussels Midi station. Now here came a bit of a dash to get from the Eurostar platform down to the connecting train, which I'm now on. This is the ICE 19 service, which runs from Brussels through to Frankfurt, and I'm heading to Cologne. Now, here's a tip. If you are going to Brussels Midi, try and leave yourself about 30 to 40 minutes to make the connection to the next train. I only left 20 minutes, and it was a bit of a dash down from platform 1, where the Eurostar train came in, to platform 10, where the next train left from. Now, certain connections are apparently guaranteed, and I'm told that if you miss one train, you can get on the next one, and thankfully there are trains between Belgium and Germany just about every hour. Anyway, we've made it onto the trains of Cologne. We're hurtling through the Belgian countryside towards the German border. Well, we have safely arrived in Cologne. I say safely. I managed to get off the train on the wrong side and almost ended up on the track. That was fun. But as soon as you walk out of Cologne's main station, is the main attraction itself. Cologne Cathedral, one of the biggest Catholic cathedrals anywhere in Europe. And it took about 600 years to build. They started it in 1280, got to about 1500 and then stopped. The rest of it wasn't fully completed until 1880, but it is a magnificent site. Now, unfortunately, like many German cities, Cologne suffered during the Second World War, which means all around this magnificent cathedral are rather less attractive modern concrete buildings. But at least it shows the site as it should be, in all its glory, standing proud in the centre of this great city. Kolsch is the beer of choice this evening in Cologne. It's a little bit like a Pilsner lager, but it's brewed in a slightly different way. It has a hoppier taste. It is, to all intents and purposes, according to the aficionados, an ale and not a beer. Whatever it is, it's cold and delicious. And we're drinking it here in Papa John's. No, not the pizza joint. It's a bar in the centre of Cologne, just round the corner from the cathedral, about a 5-minute walk away. And as you can hear, there is some lovely jazz music playing. So a chilled out way to end our first day of our tour. At least it was. And then this happened. See, Papa John's is full of curiosities, by which I mean weird instruments that play themselves. And these particular instruments are being played by 2 life-size puppets, wooden carved, looking a little bit like something from a horror film. It's totally creepy. And yeah, they're playing Billie Jean. It's not quite what I expected in Cologne. I don't know what I did expect, but it was a unique experience. Time for bed now, because I've got an early start in the morning. So that'll do it for this episode of Travelcaster. 729 kilometres down, 5,089 kilometres to go. Join us again soon for more Travelcaster, the travel pod that takes you there.